Great afternoon, great afternoon. Listen, 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 listen. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everyone. So, we had a lot of positive feedback from our last waiting room. Look at her. I had to drag her in here kicking and screaming. So, but we had really good feedback from our last waiting room. So, I decided to do it again. And yeah, she so here's a prime example of some of our mother daughter stuff. So she comes downstairs, and I say to her about 20 minutes ago, I said, "Hey, what you wearing?" She's like, "What do you mean, Mom? I'm just wearing what I have on." I'm like, "But I liked it when we had on matching shirts the last time." And she's like, "Ma, I am grown." She said, "Ma, I am grown. I don't want that. I don't want to wear that. I want to wear what I want to wear." And I'm like, "But I thought it was cute. We had on the same shirt. We were matching." She's like, "No, ma'am, not today. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. But today, I want to wear what I want to wear." Um, but growing to a place where everyday conversation is not offensive. And sometimes when you have a relationship that is operating in trauma, and we don't always acknowledge the trauma that our relationships are operating in. Sometimes when your relationships are operating in trauma, everything that's said, even if it's not an offensive thing, you're offended. And it used to be, I really didn't care what my daughter said. Everything was offensive. Everything. That look, her whole way of being was offensive. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. You're on live with E. Marie and T, and we are talking about the waiting room, my waiting room to the healing journey of our mother-daughter relationship. So last time we were on, y'all, we were all ready, and I had all the prompts and all the notes, and we don't have that today. But what we are going to talk about, the first thing is parenting out of guilt. Now, this is something that my daughter won't necessarily understand. Only a parent is going to really understand what it is to parent out of guilt. Her sperm donor, that what we're gonna call him, biological, wasn't present, and Tiara was a very, very, very wanted child. Like, I wanted her. I talked about when he was incarcerated. Yeah, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. When he was incarcerated, I was like, "Oh, what a baby, what a little girl." And so when he got out of prison, he's like, "You ready to start working on this, baby?" My stupid self, yes. So, so Tiara was very, 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 very wanted. And so when I couldn't give her what I thought I would be able to give this daughter that I wanted so badly, when I couldn't give her that guilt comes in. And a lot of times as moms, single moms, we parent from a place of guilt because we can't do this or we can't do that or we can't give them this or we can't give them that. And I parented out of a place of guilt. So my daughter was a master manipulator. You hear me? This thing right here. She says that I disciplined her, but I feel like I didn't really follow through on stuff. Like, I always caved and I always gave in, because I just wanted her to know that whatever it was, that I had her best interest at heart. Whatever it was, I wanted her to do well, and I wasn't punishing her to be mean. Like, that was important to me, for her to know that I wasn't punishing her to be mean. I was disciplining her for her own good. And so she was good at saying, "Oh, this is her thing. You ain't the mama I need." She was, oh my God, she would say that. "You don't love me how I need to be loved." And immediately, whatever I was doing, it would like shut me down, because that is her truth. Well, now I know she's being manipulative, but if it felt like it was her truth, and I wanted to fix it. I wanted to make me love her better, parent her better, or whatever it was that she felt like she wasn't getting. I wanted to be able to provide that for her. And she got in trouble at school, and we had to go to an alternative school meeting. And they were like, "Miss Royston, we don't want to put your daughter in alternative school because she's this close to graduating. We want to give her the best opportunity for success," and da 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 da. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put her on a plan to keep her in school And I put her in alternative school. So we get in the car, and her hair was fresh to death that day. I'm pretty sure that that's no longer a popular word, but her hair was fresh to death that day. And I said to her, I was just angry and I was tired and I was fed up because she was mean to me. Yeah. And the problem was I cared. As her mother, I should not have cared that she was in her phase of I don't like you or whatever that was, but she was just mean to me. And so when I said we're gonna go home and we're gonna start getting you ready, that was I don't think they do it anymore, but that was when they had introduced a test and they had to take the test to graduate high school. And I said we're gonna go home, we're gonna get ready for you to take this test. And hmm, hmm.
Say hello.
Oh, you say hello. I done forgot to say hello. Hey to the people. Hey, who has joined us, y'all?
There's a lot of people up there.
Thank you for joining us. We're still learning, so forgive us for not greeting you individually. I can't. The camera's too far for me to see your name, but thank you for joining us. And so we're sitting. I remember this. You won't remember it, but I remember where we were sitting at. We were in Noonan. I lived in Noonan at the time, and we were sitting at a stop sign, and we were going to turn left to go back toward the house. And I told her we were getting ready to go home, and I said, "This is the area that you're strong in. We're going to study, da da da." And she sat there and she said, "That's what I'm talking about. You ain't the kind of mama I need, and you don't do so." So I said, "Yeah, you see that hair? Long as I'm doing that, you see them clothes you got on. Long as you're doing that, what I say matters. You gonna take your behind to this house." And you're going to prepare for this test. And it kind of shocked her because the minute she came with something accusatory, the minute she started her manipulation, she would shut the part of me. And see, that's brokenness. That's the part of me that even as a mom was unhealed. That need to get validation. What do I need validation from a child for? She a child. But because I was still wounded and I had my own trauma and my own things that I hadn't worked through, she had manipulated and learned how to shut me down when she needed to be shut down. And it was one of the very few times that I feel like it was profound for me because I felt like I finally took a stand. I'm taking a stand as a parent. What that sound like? But I felt like I finally took a stand as a parent. Thank you for joining me on Facebook. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Thank you for joining me. So I finally took a stand, and Tiara didn't really know how to receive that. So we got home, and it was it was like a week after her 18th birthday. And she was sitting I had this chair for a long time. It was this recliner. And she said, well, this guy's going to come pick me up. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. This guy's going to pick me up, and I'm going to go look for an apartment and a job. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I said, you gonna carry your behind, whatever I said. You getting ready, do. I want to say bleep, bleep, but I didn't cuss. But it was my definition of bleep, bleep. You gonna go bleep, and you gonna go bleep, bleep, bleep. And she was looking at me with her arms crossed, and she didn't say this, but her posture was like, make me do it. Make me do it. I'm leaving. I don't know what you fisted to do, lady, but I'm about to be out. I'm leaving. And I said, if you leave this house, you do so without my permission, and you need to take everything you own when you go. So I talked about this lightly the last time, but so we had a day set up she didn't know about. We were supposed to go to dinner with one of my friends, and we were going to go shopping for shoes and da-da-da-da. And I decided that I was not going to punish myself because she was on punishment, and that I was going to go anyway. And I left and I went. Y'all listen. When I came back, this thing right here was gone. What is that? What is that? She was gone. And as I told y'all the last time, when I crossed the threshold of the house, of our home in Noonan, I felt her absence before I was able to confirm that she was no longer there. Like it was like a coldness, and in the spirit, I heard the hangers dangling in the closet. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. I heard the hangers dangling in the closet, and I looked at my then friend, and I said, Tira's gone. And she said, how do you know that? And it's like when people say a mother's heart knows, a mother's heart knows. And I knew that she was gone. And I walked up the steps, and it was like every step was like quicksand. Because I don't know what to do in that moment, because that's why you can't issue idle threats. Cause no, she's not. Where's she going? First of all, we lived in the country, like the real deal country. You couldn't even walk to a bus stop. Like, where's she going? Who picking her up? Right? So I'm trying to process, but I'm just numb. Because when I made that statement, my daughter wasn't gonna leave. She was just gonna be mad because she's been mad before. She's just gonna be mad. But not only was she angry, but she took me up on my threat. If you leave this house, look at that. Look at that. You do so without my permission. And y'all, something in me broke. As a mom, as a protector. Because I mean, you know, she didn't have a father. You know, I didn't date for real. So I was the protection. You know what I'm saying? So as a mom and as a protector, my baby is gone. Like, she's 18. She don't know what to do out here in these streets. Like, what, like all these things running through my mind, but at the same time, I had no words. And so my friend goes with me. We had a tri-level. So you come in the living room, kitchen, whatever, and then you would walk up this little set of steps, and you had only the living room, and then you walked up another set of steps to the private, to the, you know, bedrooms or whatnot. And I walked up to my daughter's bedroom, and maybe for the first time as long as I can remember, I didn't have no words. And she was asking me how could she help, what she could do, and I couldn't even respond. So I got a trash bag and I'm picking up whatever I was picking up, and I don't even think I cried. I was just numb. Like, she really left. I don't remember what day that was on, but I remember the emptiness and ache that I felt in my heart. Because I was no longer angry about whatever she got in trouble behind. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, y'all, look, we looking, the phone is sideways, so we looking sideways to see who you are. Thank you for joining us. And I walked around almost like a zombie for the first few days. She wasn't answering her phone. See, I don't even know we had do not disturb back then, because, you know, my daughter's 33, so I don't even know if we had do not disturb. But she wasn't answering my phone calls. I did not know where my daughter was. I did not know who she was with. And I was scared. You know, you rehash the conversation in your head. You ask yourself, what could I have done different? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said, well, maybe I shouldn't have. Well, maybe. And then you say, well, maybe I just should let her do what she want to do. When you know as a parent that that's not the answer, but all you want is to know that your child is okay. All you want is to know that they're safe. And I did not know how to process that pain. So all I had was silence. And then when she finally brought her tail back to the house, I told y'all this the last time, nobody came to my front door. If you came to my front door, you was a stranger. Even more there, because when you pulled up, like this house, you have side entry garage. And, you know, back then, you know, maybe I had a false sense of security, but the door was always open. The door between the house and the garage was always open. So I had this little screen door. It was always open during the day. Always open. So the garage door is up. The door is open, and she take her little hand to the front door, because she knew, even though she probably don't remember, she knew what that was going to do. She knew that she was going to scream to me, I don't live. You told me to invite myself out, and I have done just that. And she let me know about that when she came home, that I don't live here anymore. And she came and she knocked on the front door. And I'm like, what you doing at the front door? I just came to let you, one of the moments where you still want to just take them lips and just snatch them lips off the face. You know how you do, you just take and then you twist them, them lips and what did you say to me? That was one of the moments, but I couldn't hug her. I was just glad that she was okay. And y'all, she literally, wherever she was, I now know that she was, an hour away? Mm-hmm. She drove, because I lived in Noonan, and she was up off of, she was Martin Luther King. She was an hour away. I just came to let you know I'm all right. Just indignant. And she left. And there started, see, I didn't realize that our journey started long before that. Long before that. And as parents, we have to realize that whatever our situation and whatever our circumstances, I know a lot of parents parent out of guilt. A lot of single moms parent from a place of not feeling like you can't give your child everything that they need or everything that they deserve, whatever that is. But what happens is we raise children that almost can one up us, if that makes sense. When you parent out of guilt, you're always in a position where your child can one up you because you have that guilt thread running through you. So the things that you want to stand on, guilt has you being weak to. So you got to learn to make a stand. I remember I was talking to God at some. She gonna be just sitting here moaning. She gonna talk because this is not really her thing. She doing this for me. I remember Tia was like 12 or 13 years old, and she just bucked me. And listen, I don't know what was going on. She just was gonna run the house, I guess. And I remember saying, God, I just want her to understand. God said, you so busy trying to get her to understand. You just stand. She's a child. Well, talking about you want her to understand. She's not going to understand. I need you to stand as her parent. I need you to stand as her protector. I need you to stand as her guardian and not try to get her to understand why you're doing what you're doing. She is a child. But it was important because I parented from a place of guilt. Because I was broken and because I was wounded. It was almost like I wanted her approval for punishment. Yeah, that sounds crazy, don't it? But that's what happens. Our children learn our weaknesses. And they push them. And Tierra was very good at pushing my weaknesses. But that one day, I didn't allow an attack on my parenting character to keep me from parenting her. I'm going to say that again. I did not allow her attack on my parenting character to keep me from parenting her. And when I took my stand, she left. Are you ready for the repercussions when you decide to take a stand? And this ain't just from a parenting, mother-daughter perspective. Are you ready for the repercussions? I'm going to tell you what, I wasn't. I was not ready for my daughter to leave. And it took her a year. No, it seemed like it took her 3 years, but I think it was only 9 months. And she called me one day. And she said, Ma, I can't. Well, I don't know if I was Ma then. I still might have been Mama. She graduated to Mom when she got a little older. Now that she's a grown, I keep forgetting she's a whole lady now. She's an adult. She said, I can't do this anymore. I keep acting like I'm for the. Am I wrong? Do you remember the conversation? What did you say?
I ain't for these streets.
What did that mean for you?
This is not for me.
You felt like you were tired?
Yeah, it was a lot. I went through a lot in a short period of time.
I had to breathe through that because the parent in you wants to rescue, but sometimes you can't rescue. You got to allow them to walk something out. You got to allow them to live a thing. You got to allow the breaking for the rebuilding. Sometimes we're continuing to try and build on a foundation that's not solid. We're continuing to try to build on a foundation that was preset. But no, this whole nature of this relationship had to break down so that God could rebuild it the right way. And it wasn't no 1, no 2, no 3, no 4, no 5, no 10 years. This took a minute. And when she left, she was angry. But see, here's the thing. I thought her coming back nine months later was like, "Ooh, we've arrived." But honey, we was just beginning. You hear me? I'm thinking the shot of my son, God gonna do it was over, but we were just beginning this journey. So she says, I need to get my GED. I said, no ma'am. No ma'am, what GED? Who paying for GED? I'm in a very good school district, so you got two choices. You can either cart yourself back to the school that you can go to for free, or you can go Job Corps. And you got a time limit. Because even though I was glad to have her home, there's one thing that I learned on the day that she left, that I had to start taking a real stand. Because I wasn't just taking a stand for me as a mother, I was taking a stand for her life. Because she had so much more life to live beyond these moments. And if I didn't take a stand now, then I would lose whatever traction I had. So she went to Job Corps. It was rough. Oh, you want to tell them about Job Corps? Everybody, listen, everybody's experience is different. And maybe somebody go to a different Job Corps has a better experience, but She called me up. You want to tell it? You want me to tell it?
You tell it. I'm not telling that story.
So she calls me up. She said, "Mom," I think I was Mama then. "Mama, I got to come home. I'm coming home." Like, she didn't ask permission. She told me she was coming home. I said, "Okay, so what's going on?" So somebody said, "What happened?"
They stabbed him with a military knife.
Who? They stabbed a boy on campus
With a military knife.
with a Did he die?
I don't remember.
Okay, so they done stabbed somebody on campus with a knife, and she told me she was coming home because it wasn't safe. I said, "I don't know where you coming to, because you can't come here." You gonna complete something, ma'am. No, ma'am. You just not gonna complete? No, ma'am. You're welcome to come. You know you're 18. I can't tell you not to leave. But what you're not gonna do is come here. So, yeah, when you was up there, we ain't gonna tell that story today, but when you was up there doing what you was doing with whoever you was doing it with, however you was doing it, you wasn't concerned about being safe then. So, don't be concerned. I said, "I pray for you. You'll be all right. God got you." The blood of Jesus is on your side. And it made her angry. Because she knew, or she thought she knew, that if I manipulate her, I'd come home. What was she going to come home and do? What exactly was she going to come home and do? She ain't graduated high school. She done left and dropped out. You think you're going to come and be a burden on the devil is a liar. But she was very angry at me. But what did she do? She kept her behind at Job Corps. And she graduated now. Let me tell you how angry she was with me. I tried to come down to her graduation, and this thing right here, because I do mean thing, this thing lied. She told me, I don't even remember, what did you tell me why I couldn't come to?
It wasn't a lie, it was the truth.
What was the truth? Oh.
I got into too many fights. I couldn't go to my graduation.
Really?
I couldn't go to my own graduation, so you wouldn't have went because I wouldn't have been there.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
I mean,
I graduated with honors. I graduated with a gold book because I left with a job. I got the highest check you could get at Job Corps.
Listen, y'all gonna have to give me just a second because this is new news to me. We learning this together. We learning this together. They gave you a check when you left Job Corps?
Yeah.
How much check? How much check did you get?
I think it was $1,800.
What?
Because I left with the gold book. Because
what did you do with $1,800? You didn't even tell me that you had some money, girl.
I was in a relationship. We got us a place to stay. That's how me and Keith.
How y'all finding out the same thing? I'm finding out the same time we found it out 20 years later. Is it 20 years later? Almost 20 years later.
I left Job Corps working for the city of Albany. I told you that. Maybe you thought I was lying because I was such a liar back then. But that was the truth. I left Job Corps working for the city, the school systems. So I did all the schools' yard work.
How long did you do that for?
The person I was with didn't want me to work. So once I completed, I stopped.
And the beat goes on. I didn't even know that, y'all. Y'all learning what I'm learning at the same time. We all learning it. But see, here's the thing. When I finally decided to take a stand and be a parent and not a pushover, y'all better hear me. Y'all better stop letting these kids guilt y'all into. Y'all better stop letting these kids guilt you all into bowing down. Guilt, and when I say bow down, not literally bowing down, but laying down the discipline, laying down the structure, laying down. Do you understand what I'm saying? I allowed her to guilt me into laying down all these things instead of standing my ground and parenting her. I allowed manipulation to govern so many things. Now listen. Now, I thank God for these couple of stories. Now, she's 32. I don't think she's going to press no charges. But listen, there was a couple times
that I could have. They was going to put me in the system. They was going to take me.
Who was going to take you?
DCFS.
When?
When you beat me. And you busted my nose.
Wait a minute. Listen. Is there a statute of limitations? I hope it's too late for me to go to jail. Listen, no. Let. Okay, so
beat me with hangers, and you made my nose gush blood. It started with this nostril.
Okay, so here's what happened. So the first time she tried me, we were in Indianapolis, and I'd taken her out of the big room because she decided she wasn't gonna do anything I told her to do, and I put her in this teeny tiny room with this twin size mattress. I thought that didn't help either. She bucked at me, y'all. She bucked at me. I slammed her. Yeah.
She body slammed me. She could have went to jail for that too. She almost broke my back.
She can walk.
Barely.
But had I not, because if you don't put the fear in them when they too little to beat you, they're gonna be beating you down. You understand me? So when we get to Georgia, we're in the apartment before I got my first house. So I asked Tiara to clean her room. This was the thing. Tiara knew that this would grind my grit. She knew if she didn't clean, because I was, honey, baby, listen, I don't play that. She knew she would upset me, so I told her to clean her room. And she done took all her stuff. So she had a closet that teed. So you got the racks that came here, the racks that came here, and the teed. She had a clothes hung up, right? She had all her stuff stuffed in the corner. And then she had the little clothes in front of the stuff. And so I go in there and look, and I was like, that was awful quick. Now, my mom was there, God rest her soul. She was a little mean to Tiara. Tiara got some of them, those stitch whippings. But honey, my grandma Sadie was trying to protect her grandbaby this day. You hear me? She done threw all these clothes in the corner. So I went in there and I opened it up. And I tell you, when I tell you I saw red, all this stuff was packed up in the corner of this closet. And then when I turned around, she looking smug, like, what you gonna do? And I went out to get some hangers, and so I had a handful of hangers.
And she beat me with them.
I said, Mama, get out the closet. Mama was like, Elena, I said, Mama, get out the closet.
She beat me.
Elena, what are you? I said, Mama, get out the closet.
She beat me.
And I broke every one of them hangers.
Every
because you know I like the plastic hangers. Now it wasn't a wire hanger. Let me give my disclaimer. They were not. This was not mommy.
They were the thick plastic ones.
No. This is not mommy dearest.
Because the other ones, at least they bend and they break them hard things.
No. Listen, it wasn't mommy dearest. It wasn't no wire hangers ever. Tiara, get out of that bed. It was not that.
She beat me.
I
beat my nose.
I beat her with them hangers, and every one of them hangers broke. Snap. They kept snapping.
Abuse.
And I was just listen.
Abuse.
And so she went into the bathroom,
and I told her I was gonna call 911.
And okay,
I told her I was gonna call the folks, and she told me in these exact words, "Excuse my friend, she don't give a damn."
Oh, because you said that word. You can't say that word.
Ooh.
Okay.
You won't say it no more.
Okay, you said I don't give a bleep.
Mm-hmm.
And
then I was on punishment too.
What I told her is that
put me on punishment. How you bust my nose and put me?
I told her she better be glad it ain't her nose, her eye, and her ear. Wipe it up and get your behind in here and clean up this room.
She beat me.
She needed to be beat.
You need to tell them the story when you beat me for stealing your car with that ruler.
So we'll end on that story. So I was a 911 dispatcher for about 2.5 years. I was part-time while I was doing real estate. Yeah, the beginning of my real estate career was not amazing. Didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I still wonder if I know what I'm doing. And I was at the 911 dispatch center, and I had somebody living with me. I always got some. This is probably the longest stretch I've been with nobody living with me. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Y'all, this is what we got to do. Because I can't see. And
they typing real stuff. Tell them.
She need to call the we will teach her real good. Listen, let me tell you what I told her. Do you remember this? I said, call them, because by the time they get here, they're going to have a reason to take me to jail.
I do.
Yeah, I said they're gonna have a reason, because like you think that you upset about a nose, call the police. They gonna have a real reason to take me to jail. Call them 911. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And she got her behind out of that room, out of that bathroom, because her nose was bleeding. Absolutely strong woman. Listen. Um, and I finally got my kahunas. I finally got my parenting kahunas, and I stopped allowing Tiara to manipulate me. So I always, this is the longest stretch that I've gone without anybody living with me. I always got somebody living with me. That's just kind of my whatever. I'm okay if I never have anybody else living with me, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But Ebony was living with me. Ebony, and she had 2 boys. I need to check on them.
She had 3 boys.
She had 3 boys. I'm sorry, but her 2 boys live with us. And she called me, and she said, "I think you need to come home." I was working overnight. I said, "Come home for what? Your car is gone." So I bought this little. I worked for Ford Motor Company for 13 years. I took the buyout, had a little drop of money after that, and I bought this little tink tink car. What Tara didn't know was when I bought the car for her, but she didn't graduate, so she didn't get the little. Did you realize that was supposed to be a graduation gift? Did you know that?
Well, I had driven it so much that.
Oh yeah, I didn't find out until 10 years later that she was still in the little tink tink car. She was still in the little Tink Tink car, y'all. But this particular day, I was in Tink Tink. I was in the Tink Tink car. It was a Nissan Sentra. She stole my big car, y'all. The big car. What was it?
I don't know, but it was big. And
it was big and it was newer and it probably didn't have 20,000 miles on it. It's a car that I bought from Ford before we left. And she done ran off the road into a ditch and busted the tire.
And then I drove all the way home on the rim.
Oh Jesus! I don't think I knew
about that.
Yes,
that's why it cost so much, and you had me working up in them folk church.
So listen, she installed the car, busted the tire,
drove the car home on the rim,
and she got Ebony's children in the car. So not only did she steal the car with her unlicensed underage self, she supposed to be babysitting.
They was with me one day.
She supposed to be babysitting, and she done stole the car with the babies in the car. It wasn't funny then. I tell you, it was not funny then. So I come home, and it was again that whole, like, what? I stole the car. What? She had this whole indignant, what you gonna do? You know how they, honey, I got that belt. And then she acted Billy Bad Butt. I don't cuss. She acted Billy Bad Butt. So I whooped her, right?
Thank you.
What'd she say?
Somebody said I look pretty.
Oh, I don't look pretty.
You need to stop it. You need to stop it.
So I took this belt. Now, this is a big old, Tara is what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
I whooped her. And she looked, when I came in there with that belt, she looked at me like, lady, you are not getting ready to whoop me. Oh, yes, I did. But because I put the fear of God in her. See, these little young bucks now hitting back their parents, see, I would have been in jail. I would have been in jail or dead, because what you're not going to do, what you're not going to do is fight me. But because I thank God, the bloody nose and some of the slamming, she remembered. Oh, wow. So we're going to continue on Facebook because they ended it. They ended my live on TikTok. I don't really know what happened. I had a violation.
Criminal behavior. I told you that you gotta know these people policies.
Okay, so because I had criminal behavior. So anyway.
Oh.
What?
We'll talk about it.
Where was I at? What were we talking about? So I whooped her. Maybe it's because I said I whooped you.
It's because of how we explained it. If you notice, a lot of people break stuff down. They say other words. They say other.
Understood. Okay, so Corporal, I don't know what to say.
She disciplined me.
I disciplined her.
Like black people discipline people.
And she played Billy Bad behind. No, it was a belt. I want to tell you why I remember it was a belt. Because you didn't tell.
Ruler. I remember it was long. A paint ruler.
Because you told what you told me was when you got in the shower.
What I tell you was
that you was stinging. Because what, she didn't cry, she didn't move, she was just like, what? It's like, what? That's how she was when she was getting
Disciplined.
when she was getting disciplined. Honey, I didn't know for years, but she said she got in that shower and she bathed. I don't know what I can say. She got in the shower and she remembered she was disciplined. Um,
I felt the burn, baby.
but it's those things, you know. But I do believe it's those things that she has come back to. I do believe it's those things that has kept us grounded. It didn't seem like it at the time. It didn't seem like it in the moment. But I really believe those were the things that kept her grounded. And even now, there is a respect. There are things that she will not do, and it is because even though I felt like even though I know there were areas that I did not hold my ground, because I parented, she was not my friend. People can say whatever they want to say. She's never gonna be. And I don't drink, and I don't smoke, and I don't do any of that. But even if I did, I wouldn't do it with my daughter. Now, for somebody else to live a different way, I ain't casting judgment on anybody. But I'm saying that even if I lived that life, there's things that we talk about now that we wouldn't have talked about when she was a teenager because she's an adult. But there's still things I would never do with my daughter. I'm not gonna go hang out with her and drink with her because then it removes your parental. It's almost like I become your girlfriend. I'm never gonna be.
It takes that level of perspective.
Yeah, just your hangout partner.
That's why kids feel like
there's a certain way you gonna talk around me. You're not gonna come and cuss, and you're not gonna be over here with your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You're gonna be sitting in each other. There's a level that you'll never be able to go to with me as a parent. I ain't speaking for nobody else's parenting style. That we do what we choose to do, but always making sure I listen to my daughter. She is wise beyond her years. When she comes to me with things that I know is right, I receive it. But she will always still be my daughter, and there are certain lines that I will never cross with her. But I'm very thankful because us being able to even sit here and have this conversation is a testament to the healing power of Christ. And I just want to encourage you, moms, don't stop praying, don't stop believing, don't stop trusting. Don't stop lifting, and I'm saying praying again in a different way. Don't stop lifting your children up. Even though it seems long, even though it seems like the healing is not going to happen, trust the process.
And don't smother.
Say it again.
Don't smother. It's not going to do anything but make it worse.
Do you feel like I smothered you?
At first. It makes it worse. It makes you run even further and even faster. And it makes you want to rebel even more because you want to figure it out on your own. Even though there are parents that know that the fall is going to be hard, but they have to fall on their own. If they take that leap, like if they do what I do, if you choose to leave, you have to let them because they were bold enough to leave. So if they're bold enough to leave, they're bold enough to figure it out.
And you got to trust that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, and that are called according to His purpose. And we'll end on this. I'm not happy that my daughter left. I don't like the things that she had to suffer, endure when she left, and even after Job Corps, she still kind of played. Yeah, she didn't kind of. She absolutely straight. So, but Princeton, my godson, and Lila, my little god princess, would not be in my life in the absence of this breakdown. So we got to look at it and see what God wants to have accomplished. What He wants you to do is stay angry. What He wants you to do is hold grudges. What He wants you to do is stay in the place of the breakdown instead of allowing the breakdown to build you. So don't stay in the place of breakdown. Don't stay angry. Trust God and ask Him to show you what is the all things work together for the good in this particular situation. And Lila and Princeton will forever be blessed because she left. Say this. Lila and Princeton will forever be blessed because she left. She would have never met those, she would have never made those relationships for those children to be a part of our lives. She brought both of them to the house. We'll talk about that on another line. But they are better. They are prayed for. They are anointed. They are prayed over because she left. All things work together for good, but we have to let them. even when we don't understand, even when it doesn't make sense, even but how? You wonder how did we get here? But I was involved in. I was at the school. What? I was making cupcakes. That's before now. You got to get everything from the store. But I was making cupcakes and hot wings, and I wasn't. I showed up to go to the school and taking her lunch. Like everything that I knew to do that I did, and my child still ran away. But it still worked together for good of them that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose.
And it worked, even though your daughter is not 100% saved.
Y'all, did she just go there?
I'm just saying.
She just took.
Because some people think everything is about, sometimes it's not. The blessing doesn't always come from you.
What does that mean?
Like it.
I'm lost. What does that mean?
That's what it do. It spread. That's just like anybody who stay up under your roof. They might not be saved. They might not pray every day. But they reap from the fruit of you. So don't worry about them not going to church every Sunday, because a lot of people are so focused on, you got to get in church. You got to. No, they just got to get through the day. So you let them, you do the praying for them. You carry them on that. And they'll figure it out. They'll get there. And if you save for real, God will answer your prayer. I just know because my mama saved for real.
What does that mean?
Because I've seen the stuff that happens when you do whatever it is you be doing in that little prayer closet of yours.
I don't even listen, y'all. I'm rendered speechless. Listen, for whoever comes across this live, thank you for watching. I pray that as we get on here and we share our stories of transformation, that it gives you a little bit more power to continue to believe and to not give up, and don't stop praying. Prayer still works. It may not work as quick as you want it, how you want it, when you want it, but it still works. Don't stop praying. Y'all, when I tell y'all I was at almost the point of giving up, and I love the Lord. He heard my cry, and I believe. But I listen. I was like, God, what is going on? Because when the wall started breaking, because I'm gonna say this before we hop off, because I was expecting a certain response. I was expecting the response to me, instead of being able to visually see that God was breaking her wall. But I was expecting for the first level of love and showing up to be for me. And because it wasn't for me, I felt like the prayers wasn't working. But I didn't see that God was still softening her heart. He didn't soften her heart at home first, but he was softening her heart. He was softening her heart toward people. She started wanting to do stuff and make sacrifices and all of that for other people. And I was so caught up in, like, hey, you want to buy somebody some what? You want to buy somebody some flowers? You ain't never bought me no flowers. What you want to buy them some flowers for? I was so caught up in that, I didn't see that the prayer was working. It just wasn't working how I expected it to. I wanted those prayers to have a positive impact on me first. But those prayers flip-flopped. And they had a positive impact on others first. You got to be willing to accept it however God brings it. Because how he brings it is the proper, even though we may not, I may not ever understand why her heart turned to be a blessing to other people before her heart turned to be a blessing to me. But at this point, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. Her heart had to crack. God had to crack her chest to make her soft and pliable, because for her, it was easier for her to love on other people. But loving on other people taught her how to love on her mom. It was the back door, but she still made it in the house. We can't get so caught up in the semantics of how it's done because we expect it this way, and just accept the fact that God is doing it his way. Listen, you have been on with, and we got booted off of TikTok. I guess I got to get over here and read their rules, y'all. But you have been on the waiting room with E. Marie and T. And I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. I have to figure out what this is going to look like and read the rules so we don't get kicked off TikTok next time. But I think these are very needed conversations. And I know mothers and daughters are hurting. They're hurting. And there is healing. But we can't rush the process. It's almost like cooking. Yes, you can get something instant, but instant don't taste like the real thing. Doesn't have the same level of nutrients. And there are some things that just take time. You're going to have to allow God to do this in his time so that when it happens through him. And it's permanent. They don't have to fake or masquerade. It sticks and it stays. Trust the process. Trust the process. Listen, we love you out of life. I wish I had a date and time to give you to get on here. I'm gonna have to clean up my language. I don't cuss, but I got to clean up how I speak because we got kicked off, y'all. We got kicked off. But I want y'all to meet us back here Sunday, maybe in 2 weeks. I think if I tell her a week, I think it's gonna be too much for her. She might lose her breath. But meet us back here I gotta figure out what that Sunday is and make sure I don't have anything planned. But I'll drop the date. But we'll be back here, and I don't know what we're gonna talk about the next time. But it's going to be real, it's going to be raw, and it's going to be unsanctioned. But it's going to be in a way that we won't get kicked off TikTok. But we're going to keep it real. We're not going to sugarcoat it. Because mothers are hurting, relationships are broken, and there is hope. Listen, if you need prayer, this ain't her arena, this is mine. But if you need prayer for your relationship with your mom, if you need prayer for your relationship with your daughter, drop me a message and listen. The one thing that I will do
is pray for you.
The one thing I will do is pray for you because healing is possible. Only believe. Aha. You're going to do peace.